Welcome to another episode of Founder Diaries. I have my greens ready. I have my journal with me. We're about to get real today. And I really wanted to talk about not only the major changes that I'm implementing in my business, because you're seeing me grow to multi-millions in real time, but I also want to share the good, the bad, the ugly. So before I get into, again, everything that I really want to talk about, I have to be honest with you and share what I had to overcome this week. God has given me a lot of ideas. God has called me to manage a lot of things in this season. He's called me to steward well with what He has given me. And it's like God is continually putting more onto me, and it's adding this extra sense of weight. Not a heaviness of this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, but a heaviness of needing to move differently, change my inputs to produce a different output. And what I'm referencing is God has called me to host an event this year in October called $1 Million Impact. I have never hosted an event before, and I was really excited when He gave it to me. But then as time went on, I started crying about it because I'm like, God, this just feels so much bigger than me. And yet He's also calling me to restructure the back end of my business and release what I was doing and move into another lane. And then He's also calling me to steward my health. And so all of these are stacking on top of each other. And I was pretty much just explaining this to my friend. And my friend stops me and goes, "Why are you overthinking this? Why are you worrying about something that is not yours?" And it stopped me in my tracks. And I just had to sit there and think for a second, like, you're right. Everything that God has called me to do, it's His. This business is His. This event is His. Nothing I own is mine. And so when I have that perspective, which I'm so thankful that He reminded me this, it allowed me to just, you're right. This isn't mine. God's going to take care of it, just like He has all the other times. But this led me to a moment where I was remembering the same exact feeling at the beginning of Q2, right before I made changes that God needed me to change so that He could increase my capacity for me to receive more. Because we're praying and we're asking God for things and we're believing for things. But then when it's actually time to put in the work or release or shift, we don't do it. And that is the whole reason why I even created the Ambitious Woman Sprint, was because I wanted to teach people how I do this over and over and over again. So in this moment, I was just remembering, oh my gosh, I was crying just 3 months ago about how tough and hard everything was feeling. But it was because God was allowing me to go through such resistance so that it pushes me to change, so that it pushes me to show up differently. And because I had that realization, the ideas started to flow. Everything that God wanted me to shift started to flow. And that's what I really want to talk to you about today, is all the shifts that I'm making in Q2, and maybe some shifts that you can implement for yourself that will bless you. But I just want you to remember, if you take nothing else away from what I said, is when you have these moments of resistance, it's because God is calling you to make some shifts in your life, some shifts in your business, and He's calling you to rise higher. He's causing you to step into another level, another version of yourself that you haven't fully walked in yet. And so it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel tough. It's going to feel like, oh my gosh, God, this is so big. I don't feel like I got it. But if we felt like we got it, we wouldn't be depending on Him throughout the process. So we need God. And so let's break it down. Let's get right into it. What am I changing in my routines? And I have my journal with me because I wrote a lot of this stuff down, because as he was talking, I was just just writing everything so that I didn't forget. And right after I finish this, I'm going to be planning my whole week, which I'm so excited about. And if you want me to do a plan with me as a business owner, I can make a video all about it. It would be so much fun, actually. But as far as my routines, right now, my schedule is Mondays is admin day, Tuesdays are filming days, Wednesdays and Thursdays are my meeting days. So whether it's client calls, I have some calls for a community that I'm a part of. And then Thursday is also kind of like a just get the remaining stuff done or client deliverables. And then Friday is normally like my Friday finisher. So anything I didn't get done at the beginning of the week, I push it to Friday. And I also just make sure I do very light things. So whether it's meeting my friend at the coffee shop like I did this past week, or even I just want to film some more, or go to the park. I don't know, whatever it is. I like to keep my Fridays open so that I can just have a free day. Because as a business owner, it's important that not only do we prioritize rest, but that we prioritize making business fun. What's the point of doing all of this if you're deteriorating in the process, if you're not having fun in the process? God wants us to have fun. And so it's important that when we're making our schedules, when we're operating in our business, that we schedule that in, or else we won't do it. And I'm proof of that. For the longest, it was really hard for me to even allow myself to have fun because I was so focused on the vision, so focused on the work, that God had to sit me down by giving me a concussion so that I can come to this realization. And I don't want God to force you to sit. And he will do that. It's happened to me multiple times. So I just ensure that even in my day-to-day, I leave space in my calendar for him to move, for me to sit with him, for me to walk, whatever the case may be. Next, I have in my business. So I'm deciding to shift. Okay, no, I did not even share what I'm doing for my routines. So let's get back to the routines. In my routines, I am going to just pay more attention to my mornings, ensuring that I'm spending the first part of my day, the first fruits of my day to the Lord, which I have been doing that. But I want to get back to timing myself praying in the morning. Whenever I did this, my life changed tremendously. My business changed tremendously. My mind and who I became changed tremendously. If you did nothing else but prayed, your life would change tremendously. And I want to get back to that point where I know that I pray out loud in the morning, but I could give more effort sometimes. I'm going to be honest. I could give more effort sometimes. Also, my night routine, really ensuring that by like 8 o'clock, I'm truly clocked out. I'm not doing anything else for my business. I want to get back to reading at night and fulfilling my nighttime routine, which I really also want to make a YouTube video about that, and also just a podcast episode just explaining what that night routine is, because it has been really life-changing for me. I am someone who has had a really hard time implementing a night routine and sticking to it. And so I found one that's finally helped me. So I'm switching up my morning routine, switching up my nighttime routine. I'm also desiring to, and this also goes hand in hand with like business and changes I'm making with that, but I want to move all of my coaching calls within my community, my inner circle, to the beginning of the week. Right now it's on Thursdays. But if I changed my Thursdays to the beginning, I moved my Wednesdays, which is a lot of client one-on-ones for my private mentorship, move that to the beginning of the week, move my Tuesday filming days to Friday, I just believe it would flow so much better. And I know this may sound a little confusing, but let me reiterate. Before, it was Monday admin, Tuesday filming, Wednesday, Thursday client stuff, Friday myself. It's let's get all my client stuff out the way, my coaching stuff out the way at the beginning of the week, so that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I mainly have it to myself to do admin and to work on the business versus in. And content, which is another shift that is changing for me, God is calling me to take it up a notch. So if you've been here from the beginning, you know that I love vlogs. I love aesthetic vlogs. I love showing up on YouTube. And for the past 4-ish months, I haven't made a new vlog at all. Or maybe I have and I just haven't posted it yet. I'm pretty sure that's really what it is. But I love doing those. And God called me to share my life as a business owner and to give you the behind the scenes. And so, yes, I'm talking you through this right now. But how much better is it to actually show you those shifts I'm making? Like even with what I just explained right now on the days of the week, having a vlog showing a week as a business owner, which I'm going to write that down. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Yep, just wrote it down. So I'll do that. And then God has just been calling me to use my voice even more and to batch my content. And I have a podcast. Of course, you know this. And some of you are listening to this on my podcast right now, or maybe you're watching on YouTube. And then I also have my secret podcast. And my secret podcast is where I'm taking the episodes that I'm talking about and I'm making it even more in depth into like the business strategies and making money strategies and impactful strategies. For anyone who desires to be a part of that, you can click the link in the description to join and access my secret podcast, which is, again, it's going to have a lot of trainings in there, and it's called Audacious. And so God is just calling me to be more on top of what I'm doing. And that relates to my content, my business, my routines, and my health. A huge reason in the past, what used to keep me from showing up on camera is because of the way that I looked. I didn't like the way that I looked. And again, like the enemy used to use that against me. He planted these seeds from the point where I was such a young girl, where people made fun of me because I was big and I used to be on stage. And then because I got made fun of so much, I quit. And then it became a fear. And then it became anxiety and panic attacks anytime I had to get in front of the camera. And so now to be where I am, it's amazing because God has delivered me and healed me. And I've learned how to work through those moments in order to be where I am now still speaking on stages, speaking in front of the camera, going up to people in real life, praying for them, sharing a word from God, whatever it is. To be able to go from that shift to now, it makes me so happy, but that doesn't change the fact that I still don't like what I see on the other end of the camera. Yes, I know that I'm beautiful, and I do love myself, and I'm okay, with what I look like right now, but I know that God has so much more on the inside for me, and that's going to start with me going even harder on my meals. I work out. I'm consistent. Like, I do what I need to do, but it's like, am I really doing everything that I possibly could to shift that? So what I'm going to do for my health is follow a container system, which is what I used to do when I was in Beachbody. I used the containers, and with the containers, it really helped me portion my food and all the things. So I'm going to be doing that as well. And then looking at my list, I feel like I missed some things. Oh, so when I was at the coffee shop with my friend Olivia, she is the owner of Kainos. So I'm sure you've seen them. This is her Bible cover from her brand. But we were just talking about prayer, and it made me think about, wow, I really should add a prayer call as a part of a monthly thing that I do inside of the community. But how cool would it even be to open that space for anyone to join from anywhere? And I don't want it to be a prayer call where I'm praying over everyone and then everyone goes about their day. No, this is a space for you to pray for yourself. You need to learn how to intercede for yourself. You need to learn how to intercede for your business. So that's something that I would love to do. And then I told you about moving all my calls, locking in with my food. Oh, some really cool business tactics that I'm going to be implementing. I'm going to drop that in the secret podcast, Audacious. And it's going to be all about, the back end shifts that I'm doing, the programs that I'm doing, and why I'm doing it, because that's really going to help you, create more income from the offers that you're selling. And I'm just so excited. Yeah, I didn't know where this episode was going, if I'm being honest. These founder diaries have been really freeing for me because I come from a place where I used to talk freely, and then I went into being scripted, and then I figured out a way to combine both. But God has just been challenging me to talk freely and learn how to get better at talking freely. And so that's what I'm doing right now. And now that I have mastered this, of course I have so much more to work on and so much more to do. But God has just been using me to be proof of concept. It's I don't know about you, but it's like, God, why do I always have to go first? Why are you always calling me to go first? But I just understand that I am an audacious leader, and so are you. And we are the ones who make the tidal waves of impact. We are the ones who God uses to be the blueprint and make a way for other people. And I've just accepted it. And so He's just been calling me to create Voice of Conviction, which is about leveraging your voice to sell your offers and create $1 million impact with audacity. And being the proof of concept from that, I'm really excited because He's just been reminding me, like, I used my voice at the most terrifying part of my life, opening a podcast, that opening doors to being on other people's podcasts, that opening the door to doing social media, to doing all the things. And so I'm just really grateful that God is using me in this way. And I appreciate every single one of you for listening, for tuning in, for being a part of this journey, because this is nothing without you. I do this for you because God has called me to serve you. And I appreciate every single one of you who messaged me on Instagram telling me how whatever I'm saying is resonating with you. Like, that truly is my love language. I love to hear it. You can put it in the comments, you can DM me, whatever it is. Just know that I really appreciate you and I thank you for being here. So until next time, happy Sunday.